Okay, day 126, Hillary's Henchmen. Basically, yesterday I said you shouldn't use law enforcement. This is Andrew McCabe, the FBI Deputy Director. You shouldn't use law enforcement as a way of extorting political contributions for the Clintons. And he's been doing this. Started out just attacking people that were against Bill Clinton's impeachment, but more and more it's been used as a device for extorting donations for Hillary Clinton, especially as it starts in around 2000 when she gets on the Senate Arms Foreign Relations Committee. And again, as I said about these rat lines and so forth, where you're using rat lines to finance political objectives, you end up, it gets worse and worse. It metastasizes. It's not the sort of thing that heals itself. And again, if you have Palantir or Promise software before this, you can see, as Andrew McCabe can, into all the rat lines and all the people that are being targeted at all times. So you can pick and choose when you want to do a prosecution and so forth. And as I've said before, I was involved in the Portland Christmas tree bomber case. He used 3 informants for 3 years, illegal wiretaps, to convince a 17-year-old Somali kid to press a button. He never saw a soldering iron, and they built the bomb for him. So I'm very familiar with Andrew McCabe's MO, and leopards just don't change their spots. Now, people think I somehow am a fan of his. No, he's the one who ordered life disruption on me. So I'm not, no, I am no fan of Andrew McCabe. So anyway, these using, and I'm going to talk specifically about sex trafficking and the use of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children as a database for jailbait for these political objectives. What I'm talking about here is Joint Terrorism Task Force. This is kind of the underworld of our current policing in the United States. This is what happens after dark. This is never reported on in any way, shape, or form to local mayors or police chiefs. But it's the use of people, of girls that are on this list of National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to act as a honeypot or to attract men to film them illicitly, and the younger the better, because obviously we can then prosecute them for asset forfeiture is a key way, but then also we can bring in revenge groups like Operation Underground Railroad, or the people that are around these types of operations that are religious groups that are very dead set against any kind of pedophilia, sex, and so forth. So now we can actually destroy those people's lives and get their we can harvest their organs, not only get their money and asset forfeiture, but we can harvest their organs. And I know this sounds unbelievable that this has been created. It started out with Doug Coe and the Brotherhood, but it's literally exploded into thousands of organizations that are totally dependent on going after these people that have been created through these entrapment programs. And I'll prove that over time. One of the other foundations that people may not be familiar with is John McCain. John McCain, this is Polaris. It's a group. Again, Palantir is going to be at the bottom of it. You might remember a part of McCain Foundation is Ashton Kutcher. He's also, crusading against child trafficking and so forth. Well, this is the same idea. Hillary and McCain got together when she became a member of the Senate Arms Foreign Relations Committee. And basically the idea was to lock all arms buys for the U.S. and try to guide foreign policy into all these topples. They did Timber Sycamore, which was the overthrow of Syria together. They did Zero Footprint, which was the overthrow of Libya, etc. There's going to be many others, Sudan, Honduras, etc. So McCain is involved in this to a smaller degree. But the same idea is collect a whole bunch of political targets that we can then do asset forfeiture, basically. So here's one operation that Operation Underground Railroad did. Basically, you roll up into, this is Haiti, you roll up into this Calico Beach Club with a catamaran of 33 people. Hey, it's a big party. We're boozing all the way. We get there. Most of the girls are over 18, but there's a couple that are 16, and then there's one that's 13. But what you do is you have an arrest. You have 8, I think there was 8 marks or 8 targets. Out of that 33, everyone else has a great time. And then you publish the newspaper article the next day that some girls were as young as 13 years old. So I still haven't seen a list of who the 8 that were arrested, so I'm not even sure if this was a real deal at all. But then Glenn Beck says, mission accomplished, we saved 33 girls. What happened is then those guys all sailed off in the catamaran. They didn't pay their bill, according to Vince DePate. This isn't really law enforcement. This is kind of like a Duke road trip, a Duke lacrosse road trip on government funding. It's what it really is. And it's, again, not to create law enforcement. It's to create political contributions through extortion. And again, this isn't about just putting people away in prison. Matter of fact, it's better if you don't prosecute them. You want these revenge groups to come in and have these people commit suicide so then you can get their organs. And this is actually what's happening. So I'm only reporting the facts here. Again, this is why it's so important to get the 650,000 emails, the metadata at least, and then we can go through all of the stuff that Andrew McCabe is he again in the news saying that the Russia thing is total bullshit, but apparently he doesn't want to come clean with that information and make that information public, even though he's the one who went over to the White House and said it's total bullshit. So again, a man of contradictions. Again, Kallstrom, assistant to the FBI, no grand jury, no subpoenas, no court orders, immunity for all the co-conspirators, letting the co-conspirators in on the interview. I mean, these are crazy things the FBI never does. That's exactly what happened in the Clinton Foundation investigation. So that's it for right now, and I'll have more this afternoon.